All right, my man. Another episode of Personally Injured LFG, baby.
I'm still in the doldrums of Sober October.
Still?
Yeah, man.
Sober? Oh, I forgot. You got to make it through the whole
I may keep
month.
it going for a little while, bro.
I don't
may
know
keep it
where that
going. I got
goes.
a lot of fires going on, and I'm noticing that it's easier to deal with fires without any alcohol in your system. We'll see.
I don't disagree. Me hungover, not a good scene.
I
Not a
think you
good
might
scene.
be the last
So,
person I would want to run into hungover.
Yeah, I could see that. But I mean, in this day and age, dude, with the kids, they don't care if you're hungover. You can't have a bad morning. They are up, they are ready to go Saturday, Sunday, whatever it may be, and they don't care that you're hurting. They want dad's best self.
Oh, no.
Get a
They
witch.
don't give a fuck. They just don't care. And in fact, if you're hungover, it's worse. They wake up 30 minutes earlier and they're like, "What up? I want breakfast."
Well, my two little girls go into full deposition mode if I tell them something's wrong. I can't say, like, Daddy's head hurts, because then I'll be like, why? Why does your head hurt? Did you take medication? It'll just be that much worse. They're just going to compound it, and they're not stopping until they get the answers that they're satisfied
What's the
with.
problem?
Two little lawyers in
Well,
the
that's
making. That's what I'm dealing with.
There's a reason. Their mom and dad are both lawyers.
I know, but you know me. I don't go home and argue. I just take my lumps. I'm not seeing the argument from me.
I live
what I
in
mean?
a world of lumps, baby. That's where I feel the most comfortable.
Well, speaking of comfortable, man, film a little early this week because my boys got a little vacay all day coming up. I'm happy for you, man. Talk to me about this.
I don't know if it's really a vacay. It's not a vacay for me, dude. It's more like a staycation. When you're in Florida, it's called a phony faux vacation when you leave Miami and you go to Orlando to go to Disney.
Yeah. I mean, where you're at too, man, home-wise, that's like paradise. And now you're going to go up to, I mean, look, I get it's like the happiest place on earth, Disney. Like, who could be mad about Disney? But as Floridians, we all know there ain't no breeze moving around in there. You are the furthest point that you're going to get from the ocean, smack dab in the middle of the state. There's a reason they call Gainesville the swamp, and it ain't far from Orlando.
Let me tell you something. It's supposed to be like 60 to the low 62. And not only that,
there you
I'm
go.
doing like the ultimate Disney cheat code thing. And people from Florida don't know this. I didn't know this till I had kids. The only way to really go to Disney, truly enjoy it, without waiting mega lines and in an environment where you're not going to get killed by the humidity and the heat, is to go from October to December. And in those months, they have two separate parties. They're called Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, okay? And the beauty of these events is literally they open up the gates at 4, and they go from 4 to midnight. On top of that, it's at half capacity, so there's no lines. So you go and you get to enjoy all the rides without the aggravation of waiting in line. You're in and out, dude. You get to do everything you want with your kids. By the time you get home, they're beat to shit because it's midnight, and you just put them to bed, and you're off to the next day.
See, I feel like you have got this as close to a science as you can get. Like, you're a pro. I walk away from this saying, you know what? If I wasn't doing the law thing, I would start Disney boot camp for parents to get them ready. Because, again, parents are like, they're just going to love it. We're just going to be happy. No, what you need to get ready for is just however many days of getting the shit kicked out of you. Like, especially if they're little, like you got strollers, you got to get on those buses, people just climbing over you. The kids want to sit on your lap. You are physically getting the crap beat out of you for however many days. And then, not to mention, just the overall walking. the toll it's going to take on your body, the heat, everything else. So like I feel like you could get a full on Disney parent boot camp and make a fortune just getting parents
Dude,
ready.
you might be honest something because right now I'm getting totally hustled by all of my wife's friends, my wife's friends and their kids. They're like, we
Yep.
haven't taken our kids to Disney yet because some of them live up in the Northeast and they come down. They're from Florida, they're from Miami, but they still haven't taken their kids. And they'll come down here and they're like, listen, we're only going our first trip with Big Mons. And the reason for that is because I've got it down to a science, like you said. I know how to use the fast pass system. I know where you got to stay, where you get the premier pass, man. You pay a little extra to skip all the lines. I know what's up. I watch YouTube
Yeah.
videos. I watch Adam the Woo and Tim Tracker. I bet you don't even know who those guys are, but I do.
Not a
Yep.
clue.
Yep.
Not a clue. But I'm taking notes. I need to
Oh,
write
bro,
that
yeah.
down. I'm gonna
That's
put it right
right.
here in my Palm Pilot. Jot it down because I need to remember that. 'Cause I'm tired of getting my ass kicked
Well,
when
let
I
me
go
tell
up there. It's no joke. You got to be ready. You got to be in shape. And then on top of all that, what just irks me to the core is the adults that are there with no children, just to remind you of what it was once
forget,
like.
dude. No, that's
I'm
the
like,
scariest part
they're
of
just
that.
right there, just happy as shit, just enjoying it, and you're literally trying to keep a kid awake to make it through the parade, so they don't cry the next day. They found out that they were asleep because they missed the parade, and then oh, out of the corner of my eye, some adult who somehow did not have children, the children grown up, and they're just, but I gotta see it, and I'm like, it's so close. It was once there.
Nah, those guys are fucking scary, man. Don't even start talking about people like it's something that you want to be. Let me explain something to you, Ian. I've been
I
campaigning this for about 5 years now because I didn't go to Disney until probably the last time I went might have been when we worked at the prosecutor's office because I think there is one socially acceptable way to go to Disney if you're an adult, and that's if you're going to like Food and Wine with like a group of young adults and you're drinking around the world at Epcot. But the minute that you step
yeah.
foot into Magic Kingdom without kids, it's a little on the shaky side, man. It's a little weird. So I've been
Yeah.
campaigning.
The minute you strap on those Mickey ears
Oh,
and your matching
dude,
shirt
but
and
that's
go trotting
right,
into
right.
it.
So I've been campaigning this for a while. I go, you know what? If I ever have to go to a Halloween party, and my wife knows this because I hate dressing up. I just don't dress up. Most people, you're going to see me dressed 2 ways or 3 ways, all right? You're going to see me wearing a suit, you're going to see me wearing golf clothes, or you're going to see me wearing tennis clothes. That's how you're going to see Big Mons. You don't see him any other way. I just don't dress up. But I've been telling my wife, if we ever got to go to a Halloween party, we're going to scare the shit out of everybody, and we're going dressed as Disney adults. Like, I'm with him. I'm with her. Straight up Air Monarchs, okay? Fanny
Just
packs, all right? Mickey
Air
ears.
Monarchs just
That,
happy
that,
as shit. Just like you just pop 3 Prozac and you're just ready
yep.
to go.
That is what I'm gonna do. That is gonna be my scary. That is my scary way of dealing with this.
Just asking people where they're from. Where are you from? Oh yeah, do you come here every year? Just all up in people's faces
Hey,
about it.
I'll have a
I
magic
love it.
band on, just for complete total stylings.
Well, in true pro fashion, dude, I know that you told me about how you've worked this trip, and I gotta bow down, dude. Like how you pulled this off. I
I
mean,
didn't even do it. It wasn't even me.
I don't know how you did it.
I was offered this by my wife and all the other wives, and I don't think I told you this. We're staying at a, it's all her, it's all her friends. Obviously, I've become close friends with the dads over the years. They're like my buddies now, and we're all staying in this
Right.
huge resort that just opened maybe about like a year and a half ago called Evermore. And in that resort, you could rent like a house that 30 people could stay there. So we're staying like, I think we're 5 families. We're a total of like 24,
Ooh,
25, right? So, and in
damn.
that resort, there's 2 golf courses and a huge
Oh my
like the
god.
biggest pool probably in the state of Florida. It looks like a lagoon. It's sick. You gotta look it up. But you were going to Disney. Obviously, the kids are, they're jacked up. Chances are you're gonna go for the second day to the parks. Not this time. For whatever reason, I don't know what I did. If my lucky stars are aligning, but me and the boys, me and the fellas, get to go play a round of golf in the morning on Saturday.
Man, I am so jelly right now. I am peanut butter
You
jelly
should
right
be.
now.
It is probably one of those most magical, underrated rounds of golf. Being able to play golf in Disney.
That is the
Yeah,
real Magic
that
Kingdom
in
right
Orlando and
there,
not
bro.
having to go to a park. So
My God, it's
instead of going to
amazing.
a park and waiting an hour and a half to ride Slinky Dog Dash, you're gonna be with the fellas, hitting off the first tee, striking up a stogie, while you're telling everybody, "Hey, good shot, man. Good attempt."
Congrats, bro. That is some
I know.
serious, much needed stress relief for you there. And I couldn't be happy for you, bro.
Saturday round of golf. The phone's not going to be ringing, hopefully. You know what I mean? Not going to have to worry about clients. Going to be in the mix, hitting the balls.
I would just silence it. Why
And here's
even
the best
risk it?
part, it's 4 hours without the kids. So while you're out there with the fellas, having a great time, while they may be drinking beers and I don't drink beers, it's going to be our wives are with the kids out at the pool. So we don't even got to deal with the kids. And on top of that,
Yep.
man, it's like just relief.
Well, hey, man, enjoy much needed stress relief. And speaking of stress relief, yesterday I got to work some shit out. Let me tell you about this. I'm on this statement. It's an EUO, an examination under oath. Somebody's placing my client under oath to ask some questions, tantamount to a deposition. Got to follow the same rules of a deposition. And guess who's taking it? A non-lawyer adjuster. Now I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna be all right. But then my boy asks the client 4 times the same question in a row. She answers it 4 times, and he just don't like the answer. And then he starts giving her a hard time, like, "Why do you want to answer that question?" I said, "Look, man, I gotta step in here." And he starts barking at me like, "You will not speak. I told you at the beginning." I'm like, "Sir, let me just tell you something here, bro. Let me explain to you. There are rules for this. If you were an attorney and not pretending to be one, you would know that. But instead, you think that you're king of the world. I'll shut it down. I don't care. Go tell the judge." And then I said a whole bunch of more stuff, and it ended up just me just lighting this dude up. And normally I feel kind of bad about that, but in this instance, I was so pleased because as of late, dude, I keep seeing this issue where it's like I'm gonna practice law without a license. Now, you know, I've seen it with society, where people are just like, "Oh, I can argue. I could be a lawyer." How many times you hear, "I was thinking about going to law school." Like it's ordering dessert. It's like it's so nonchalant, getting 3 years of your life, studying, debt, everything that it comes with, and be like, "I was thinking about doing it." Like your career is just so minuscule that it's like, I thought about it, but I didn't want to do that. And then, you see it on TV, people representing themselves, and just overall, I get the impression that society feels like they can just do it. And I'm not saying I'm like God's gift, like some amazingly intelligent person, but there's a lot of work that goes into this and a lot of, time that is spent developing the skill set. And now insurance companies are clearly just sitting out there saying, "We don't care. We're not going to hire a lawyer. We're going to save the money. We're going to have you deal with this clown who doesn't know anything, who literally thinks that he can sit there and just talk over you and you're not allowed to say a word." Like my client has no rights. At one point he was like, how did you learn about what time this was going to happen?" I'm like, "Bro, you sent her a letter. Did your attorney send you a letter?" I'm like, "We're not talking about what her and I like." Had to jump into this, but I'm just walking away from it, feeling great that I just got to lay into this dude. And you know me, that's not my MO. I typically don't get enjoyment out of that, but I feel like I needed it. He maybe caught, some strays from somebody else, maybe that should have been for somebody else. But here, I'm walking away from it saying, like, how did we get here? Why does the world think that, you know, it's just a cakewalk? You just be a lawyer. Just I could do that too. I'm pretty good at arguing. Like there's never been a part of me. It's like, I'm pretty handy. I'm pretty good with my hands. I'm pretty skilled. I feel like I could probably do heart surgery if I wanted to. Like, if I needed to, I just cut somebody open, start working on things. Like there I I'm not drilling out people's cavities. I'm not giving people fillings, root canals. There's no part of me that's sitting there thinking, I got a steady hand. I could probably do that. No. But how many people you talk to are like, I was always really good at speaking, and I did a semester of debate, and I always felt like I could be a good lawyer. I'm like, don't say that to yourself, but not to me. And then I got this guy here acting like it's all good. And I'm like, bro, you're literally committing the unlicensed practice of law. You are committing a felony as we speak, and you're just cool. You're just good with it.
Look, bro, two things. First thing, the law school. I love law school. Take me back. I partied my ass off in law school. I mean, that is like right up my alley. You're telling me I only got one test at the end of the semester, and I got a pretty good memory. But what you got to do is make good friends with somebody, like one of your good friends who's a really good note taker. So I had my girl, shout her out, Ashley Sawyer. I had every class with her, man. She hooked me up with her notes, thank God. And at the end of the semester, I would just grind. You would find me in that library every night until about 8 o'clock, and I'm just going through everything, getting my act together. And to answer your question, I think you talked about it, why everyone thinks they could be a lawyer. I think you answered it right at the beginning of this podcast, and I'll tell you why. Because we've been getting negotiated against, or we've been negotiating since we've been 6 years old. Just like you've been saying, your daughters wake up and they lawyer you. Guess what? So do I. My kids do the same thing, especially my daughter, dude. You should have seen her last week, bro. We were negotiating over a labubu. You know what a labubu is?
Oh, I've
Oh,
seen
yeah,
them.
yeah.
I've seen
I've
them.
lost out,
$60, $80 for a stuffed animal. It's the
and
new
it's
Beanie
probably
Baby.
fake. And that's the whole point. My daughter will she'll roll in to my room. And I'll be, hey, baby, good morning. Can I have a hug? What are you going to give me? What the,
Quid pro
what the,
quo. You want this
what the
love?
fuck do you mean? I'm going to pay for you to go to Carrollton, I'm going to pay for you to go to a princess school. How about that? Because my son, he goes to public school, all right? And it looks like a little bit like a jail. And I'm like, you want to go to school over there? You remember the kids you went to to preschool with that would smack you on a day in, day out basis? They go there too. You sure you don't want to go to Key Biscayne Community School? And she's like, no. Here's your hug. And I'm like, that's great. Okay, let's go get your uniform on. What do you give me for that one? I'm like, what do you mean, man? This is not tit for tat, man. I am constantly negotiating on a day in, day out basis with a terrorist 6-year-old. And then I get here to work, and it's the same thing. So for that reason, people have been negotiating their whole lives ever since they were kids. And they've been either conditioned to get what they want or not what they want. And over the course of it, that's why you have adjusters like this who think that they could just fucking dog you out and get whatever they want from you and pretend they could do your job. But they can't. They don't have the discipline to get the grades to actually go to law school and stick it out.
I had one the other day that, I'm not yelling at people normally. We were just talking about the case. We're going back and forth. He's trying to argue the points, and I'm saying, look, this is how it's going to go down in the deposition of your doctor. We're going to say X, Y, Z. Your doctor's going to have to make these concessions, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just giving him the spiel. Nothing crazy, nothing rude, nothing. And this dude was like, well, you just got an answer for everything, don't you? And I was like, I mean, yeah, that's my job, ain't it? Do you think that this wasn't premeditated? Like, I didn't think about this conversation before I picked up the phone and dialed. Like, come on, bro. I'm not walking away from this taking L's from you. I thought about everything that was going to go on. I was living in your head last night before you woke up, bro. I'm walking around in there just having a field day.
It's our job to think of every possibility of what could be asked in any of these situations. And while we sit down and we prepare our clients and we could prep them the best that we can, they still find a way to say the dumbest shit that makes no sense whatsoever.
See, I always say that it's the smartest clients that scare me the most.
They think they could talk themselves out of anything.
Very similar to what we're talking about. They're like, I could do your job. They don't say it to you, but they look down their nose at you like, I could do your job. And inevitably, they always step in it. They always say too much. They don't stick to the plan. Of course, I prep them for their deposition. We're going through everything. We're doing practice rounds, everything else to make sure. And then you get to trial. I don't even know if you know this story about the nebulizer.
Hit me with it.
I had a client that we took to trial. Wasn't my case. Another attorney that worked at the office got very sick, and they asked me to step in kind of last minute, try the case. And we prepped her probably a dozen times,
Mm-hmm.
which is a lot. Prepped her just to the nth degree. And she's going through cross examination. He has a very good defense lawyer, and she's holding her own. She's sticking to the plan, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, she just loses it and points at the defendant and is like, "You better tell her to quit looking at me like that." And I'm like, "Oh my God, what's happening?" And the judge is like, then he tries to calm her down. And then she yells at the judge. He's like, "No, you're not going to tell me," and starts getting in with the judge. So then the judge sends the jury out of the room. Okay. I got to go calm her down. We get her calmed down. Judge, admonishes me because, of course, like, it's my fault. Like, I planned on that shit. Like, yeah, that's just what I wanted in this case. And then they bring the jury back in. They finish the cross examination. She's already made herself look crazy. It ain't looking good. It is what it is. She goes, and part of it was after the accident, she had asthma. So she was like breathing and upset. So they were asking about her use of her nebulizer for some reason. I felt like it was kind of a red herring, but the attorney kept asking a lot of questions about it. And she, did fine with it. So she gets back to the table, and where we had her sitting, she was sitting next to, their table. So a few feet apart to the defense. The jury's walking out because they're going to go to lunch, I think. And she takes out her nebulizer and sprays the defense lawyer with it. Like full on, right on the dude. And if you knew this attorney, he's like, "Judge, I didn't want to bring this up in front of the jury on it, but the lady, she sprayed me with something. I'm not really sure what it was." And I'm like, "Oh my God." So you're talking hours of prep time for this lady, and she still fucked it up. Like, and it's her case. It wasn't like she was a witness. It wasn't like she didn't have a dog in the fight. It was her
Right.
case. And she was like, "I don't care. I'm going to get a pound of flesh." And we were winning. The bailiff literally came up to us and was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said this, but he's like, after the trial, he's like, "I hear the jury talk, as they're going to lunch, whatever." He's like, "You guys are winning right up until she did that." And I'm like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me."
You know what I always tell I tell the client one thing, and I tell the jury one thing. I tell the jury, hey, don't leave common sense at the door. Bring it with you. You could use it when you're deliberating and how you look at the facts and how you weigh the evidence. Keep your common sense with you. What I tell my clients, leave crazy at the door. Crazy do not come in the courtroom. The minute crazy comes in, we might as well just leave. And that's the truth. It's the truth.
Yep. Whether they listen or not, who knows? But hey, it just goes to show it's not just
Yeah.
arguing. It's knowing people, it's dealing with people. And then the other side of our business that we even talk about, which is, you know, you got to be selling the clients, selling the adjusters, selling the jury. And then the schmoozing part, you got to schmooze people that might refer you cases. You got to do charitable work. You got to be doing those things to build your reputation in, the grassroots part of it in the community. And then you got to go to,
Don't get me started. Don't mess with me today. Don't mess with me today, man. Don't mess with me today. Because I am leaving on vacation. And the last thing I want to do with vacation, when I'm going, the only thing I want to do when I'm about to go on vacation, get home, pack, and get my mind like if I'm on vacation. But not today. Your boy over here has to do the one thing he does not give a shit about. He does not give a shit about when it refers to law. And you know what it is? You know what it is that I could care about less? I got to go to a judicial fundraiser. I don't
oh,
give a shit about going to judicial fundraisers. I'll play the game. I'm all about stroking the check. I'm cool with that. I ain't got no problem writing you a check. I want you to get reelected, and I think it sucks that you have to go and jump through all these hoops to get reelected. What I don't like is somebody telling me, "Hey, look, I'm having a event for a judge. I would like you to come." And some people, I can't say no to, right? So then I got to get in my
yeah.
car, and then I got to drive an hour in rush hour traffic to go get to this judicial event. I'm sitting there, the vibes cannot be lower, and then I got to go and sit in a room with everybody who does the same shit that I do, that's not going to refer me any cases, and say, Hi, how you doing? I'm Moncy Blanco Herrera. What do you do? Well, I do PI. They're like, me too. Great. So now I've
Yep.
just wasted an hour in rush hour traffic just so I could hand over a check to a judge that's not going to change her mind, her or his mind on how they're going to rule. Maybe, if anything, it'll just, change their demeanor on how they talk to me while I'm in front of them in the courtroom. You know what I mean?
Assuming they
Which
remember you.
that too.
Can't is that allow you can remind them like, hey judge, remember that check? Yeah, no.
Listen,
Remember that donation?
listen.
Like,
I don't care how they talk to me. They could yell at me, they could chew me out. I just want them to be fair. I just want them to be reasonable and fair. I just don't give a shit about judicial fundraisers and actually going there and being in person. If you are the one that's hosting the event and you're a good referral partner to me, I will go out of respect to you. But if you're not and you ask me to go, like, what did I do wrong to you? Like, how did I hurt you and your family that you're telling me or you want me to go to this? I don't care if you.
why are you
I don't
punishing
care
me?
if it's fully catered. I don't care if you got an open bar. Means nothing to me. I'm gonna end up being over there in a weird environment where I'm just twiddling my thumbs, acting weird, trying not to be awkward, and hoping that I could get out of there unscathed. Boom.
I don't you know me. I don't possess the ability to small talk. My wife thinks it is hilarious that I cannot remember people's names 30 seconds after I meet them, and I have to explain to her it's because I'm trying so hard to come up with some stupid random shit to talk about the weather or sports and get a good chuckle. It's serious but not too serious, and like I just can't do it. I can't do it, and it results in me completely not paying attention to that person telling me what their name is. And I walk away from it. My wife's like, you just met that person. You don't remember their name? I'm like, it's not that I didn't want to. So I would just be there shaking hands with people, meeting people, not remember their names so that the next time I'm at the courthouse, they'll be like, hey, what's going on? I'll be like, hey, you. Because I don't remember your fucking name because I was trying to come up with some shit to talk about. Again, and you can't even say, it's not even like, what do you do? What do you do? We're all lawyers. Everybody knew that when you walked in there. Nobody else is going to judicial fundraisers. Just lawyers, you know?
It's even worse than that, man. It's like you're there and you're just like all awkward, twiddling your thumbs, and you just want
Oh,
to
yeah.
get out, man. I am good at small talking. I am an excellent small talker.
Oh, I know.
can talk to anybody about anything. I'll make shit up, go on. We'll be best friends, man. I'm the type of person you meet and you're like, I feel like I've known that guy forever. I got that vibe about me. My problem is when I don't give a shit where I'm at, I will not remember your name. But you put me in front of a jury, I will be naming every single one of those jurors by their last name. I will not look down at a piece of paper. I'll be like, hey, and Miss Gonzalez, over there, you told me your favorite TV show is CNN. And Mr. Smith over here, you said you like Fox News. Can you guys get along? If you guys were in a room together, would you be afraid to say no to the other one? No? I bet you guys are going to be best friends after all this if you guys were in the room together. And I'll just be in there just talking to all of them. And it's like I have the capacity to remember people's names. But when I'm in an environment where I don't give a shit, I don't remember people's names. I'm just like, fuck it. Just get me out of here.
Well, man, I feel for you, but look at it this way. You got the light at the end of the tunnel. Got the golf round coming up.
Right.
It's going to be great. So cheers, man. Enjoy the staycation. Hope you and the fam have a blast. Keep your head on a swivel at that judicial fundraiser. You never know who's there. There's going to be that guy in the corner mean mugging you, looking to get after you when you turn your back. So anyways, I hope you got a great time up there, man. I hope all goes well. Stay safe. And until next time, brother, another
You the man,
beloved.
dude. Good
Cheers.
seeing you. Have a good weekend, bro.